came too far, I ain't giving up. Hey, I had to cut what was weighing me down. And then when you grow, they say that you switching up here to perimeter. Defending the fort, we crushing the visitors. I got it locked, ain't taking a prisoner. Thought it was sweet until they chin hit with a finisher. Heartbreak, Nicky, I'm voiding the slips. I'm raising the stakes, enjoying the risk. Injecting my veins with ice as cold as it gets. I live for this shit. Die as a legend, I ride with aggression. I lost in the past, it's fine, it's a lesson. I'm loading the clips, I fire the weapons and taking what's mine. It's time for redemption. Yeah. I came too far, I ain't giving up. Hey, I had to cut what was weighing me down. And then when you grow, they say that you switching up here to perimeter. Defending the fort, we crushing the visitors. I got it locked, ain't taking a prisoner. Thought it was sweet until they chin hit with a finisher. Heartbreak, Nicky, I'm voiding the slips. I'm raising the stakes, enjoying the risk. Injecting my veins with ice as cold as it gets. I live for this shit. Die as a legend, I ride with aggression. I lost in the past, it's fine, it's a lesson. I'm loading the clips, I fire the weapons and taking what's mine. It's time for redemption. Yeah.
What is up, everybody? FowlBall Talk is back, and we are going to be covering the last 4 series. Tim Malarkey, Matt Trigger, and Tim, it's always good to share the screen with you, my brother.
Matt, what's going on, man?
Not much. Orioles baseball's in full swing. It's the NFL draft tonight. Going on a little early so we can both enjoy the festivities of the Ravens trading back and having to stay up late to watch it happen.
It's always a great annual tradition.
Yes.
Watching the Ravens keep you up all night, and then trade back. But we'll see. We'll see. Little offensive line help for Lamar is what I want. But at the end of the show, we'll get your draft prediction before we get out of here.
Yeah. Wanted to also point out that I joined you in the festivity of purchasing a Be More Connect City Connect baseball hat at the tune of $63 at the stadium last Friday night.
You sure did.
And by the way, before we start our show, I want to thank you and Stephanie for bringing Aubrey a game ball. That was very sweet of you. She's been talking about it nonstop, and I've had to stop her from playing with it in the house a few times. So, yay.
Yeah, man. We were creeping. We could see you sitting down there. You had some nice seats.
Yeah, I don't go to many Oriole games, and I wanted to treat the girls to something nice. I made the mistake of letting Aubrey look at the seating chart on my phone, and she picked those because she said it looked close to the field.
She was correct.
Yes, she was.
Matt, last time we talked, we were heading into San Francisco, Arizona, Cleveland, and Kansas City.
Yes.
I believe our predictions were we were both wrong because I think I said we would be 500 or no, I said we would be one game above 500 based on what I thought we would do in each series. You had us at 2 games above 500.
Yes.
We currently sit at 12 and 13. So,
to be fair, we only picked a couple series. I think we didn't get a chance to really. We didn't think we were going to have this much of a divide in between shows. But
yeah,
we didn't pick the Kansas City game.
No, we did San Francisco, Arizona, and Cleveland. I don't know. I'm always happy to take 2 of every series. So San Fran was happy there.
Yeah.
Arizona came to town, and in typical Orioles fashion, we took 1 of 2, but we could have taken the whole series.
Yeah.
A couple games got away from us. Some sloppy mistakes.
I called up a sweep of that, and I was wrong.
Yeah. You did. And then Cleveland, that was the dagger, because there was also multiple games in that series that we should have taken, and only grabbing one of the 4. So that one hurt. And then Kansas City, we didn't get a chance to touch on it, but we took 2 or 3, and they always are like a nail in the spine for us. So I will always be happy with taking 2 of 3 from Kansas City. And it could have been 3. We lost one game because Helsley spiked a ball in the dirt and it got away from Adley, and the runner came in from third to walk it off.
Yes.
So,
I'm still not in panic mode right now. We're 1 game under 500. We had a pretty tough stretch. San Francisco is no slouch.
it only gets harder.
It only gets harder. I agree. But they got through this relatively 500 for the most part. Bassett looks to be putting together a better game each time he starts.
We're getting there. It's rough, but we're getting there.
It's rough, but we're getting there. I would rather them go through this in April than July or August.
Yeah, my problem with the Bassett thing, and I know he's seasoned like a wok, so he'll figure it out. But the part that sucks right now is he's not getting into the 6th inning, and that was one of the main reasons we brought him in, was to just
not many of our pitchers are.
Yeah, let's talk about pitching then. Let's start off with pitching. I'm just gonna present this to you, and you can let me know your thoughts. There is your 5. There is no one below a 3 ERA. Actually, the lowest ERA happens to be Kyle Bradish at 3.96. And since we're diving into pitchers, I guess in case there's some viewers tuning in that haven't heard the news, this is breaking like 10, 15 minutes ago. Dean Kramer has been placed on the 15-day IL, retroactive of 4/20. So 3 days ago. I think they are calling it, what are they calling it? A right quad strain. So with Dean Kramer going on the IL, the Orioles have called up Brandon Young, who in his spot start for us early this season looked the part. So there could be some silver lining to Dino going on the IL, but typical Orioles fashion, that's now 2 starting pitchers on the IL, and we are not even through the end of April yet. So
I get it. It's not a good look. I'll agree with you there. Bradish is starting to find his stuff, starting to find his groove, so I'm not panicking. Trevor Rogers. I want to talk about Trevor Rogers for a minute, okay?
Yeah, there you go.
So
our number 1.
Trevor looks the part. I understand people wanted him to be that dominant shutdown guy that he was last year. That was in a vacuum. That was a third of a year. So even if he gives us 60 to 70% of what he was a year ago, you're floating at those numbers. It's still 25 games into a 162 game season. Right there on our screen that everybody's looking at, he's got a 2-2 record. He's got a 4.08 ERA. Could it be better? Absolutely. But
it ballooned after the last game, by the way, too.
It ballooned. And the thing is, people got to understand that he was going to lose a game eventually. Let's get this knocked out now. I'm being incredibly patient with these guys because it's unfair to criticize this situation with a new manager, a new coaching staff, new philosophies, new approaches. He's still figuring everything out. The offense is hot and cold. We're getting production some nights from some guys, and other nights they're giving us nothing, and vice versa. Some guys that are giving us nothing, we eventually. Hey, Rick, how you doing? Thanks for tuning in. Bradish is probably our best pitcher. I will not disagree. Trevor Rogers by default is our one based off of last year, heading into this year, and the unknown of Bradish's health. But when it's all said and done, I will side on that with you, Rick. That um, Bradish might end up being our ace, and it's very well possible. It's not a completely out of the realm of discussion. I hope they're both ace like pitchers. We're going through growing pains. We have an entire new outfield. Our bullpen has been literally thrown together on the go. Um, we had no adequate replacement for Kittredge or Batista, for that matter. Helsley's doing a fine job, but he is not prime healthy Felix. So I believe that they're working the kinks out, and I think that this is going to be a good ball team. I'm still standing by our predictions from the beginning of the year. Tim, I want to hear what you have to say in regards to the rotation itself, based on what you're seeing on the eye test and what you're seeing on the screen here.
All right. Um, I think to start the year and how the first couple games pitched, Rogers was looking the part, looking like he was going to fall into place. Last game definitely ballooned him. I think Kyle Bradish and Trevor Rogers are neck and neck right now. I mean, they've each started 5 games. I can't call it yet just because, 5 games is one bad start can demolish an ERA quick. We don't have enough, data yet to look at these ERAs and even really take anything away from them. The big number on this chart that's really concerning, and I know we think that Bassett will turn around. Bassett has 5 starts, just like Bradish, just like Boz, just like Rogers. Look at the strikeout difference. Bassett has 10 strikeouts. That's it. Now, I know he's a pitch and a contact guy. He doesn't really have that big swing and miss. But 10 is kind of a big deal.
It is. I agree.
You're telling that's 2 strikeouts a game. I mean, look at Dino. Dino's got 2 games under his belt, and he's already at 16. So that's the big thing that I'm taking away from the data that's presenting itself early. I think walks look fair across the board. I really like that Trevor Rogers has 8 walks with 25 strikeouts. I know it's not far off from the rest of the pack there, but I'll take that any day of the week. I think Bradish and Rogers are tradable back and forth. You're 1-2 easy. I really hope that what we saw from Bradish last game is him settling in, because that would be awesome. We need someone to come through. The problem is a lot of these starters aren't going deep. And I know today's game, 6 innings is considered, as far as they should go, but there's not a lot of longevity there when it comes to your bullpen. So that concerns me. I need to start seeing these guys get going, start showing that they can push innings and eat innings, because they've each had 5 now. Their hands are wet. They've dipped their toe in the water. We're on, especially because we haven't played an AL East team yet, and we got Boston coming up. Then we go to New York, or in between. I think we have Houston. Yeah, it's Boston. Then Houston comes to town. Then we go to New York. So we haven't even got into the division yet, and I think that's why if you look at the standings, sure, sitting 1 game back of 500 isn't that big of a deal, because the AL East hasn't really separated itself yet. Nobody's there. Everybody's within reach, 1 or 2 games. So now that the interdivision games are starting to kick off, this is where it starts to get interesting. This is where you need to see the starting pitching locked in, because these teams are good.
Yeah. I want to comment on something that you're talking about, the alarming thing with the strikeouts for the display on the screen. I'm looking at 2 things. I'm looking at the innings pitched for all of our starters. They are averaging anywhere from 3 2/3 to 5 2/3, depending on who you're looking at. That's alarming. Just based on games started. That's rough.
Because that hurts the bullpen.
Minus Dean Kramer. He's the outlier. He only had 2 starts. But he averaged 5 1/3 or 5 2/3, however you want to go for both of his starts. Small sample size. The other thing is the home runs. Our starting pitchers are giving up a lot of home runs. If you look at everything collectively right now, Kramer, Bassett, and Rogers have given up 10. And then Baz and Bradish gave up another 4. So 14 home runs given up in the first 25 games by the starters. They're averaging 2 home runs a game per starter. I put that up there before we got to this. She's right. She's absolutely right. It's negatively affecting the starters. It's not a great look right now. And I can understand that. I believe that they're going to eventually have to start stretching these guys a little bit deeper because the bullpen is suffering right now. They're not a very good bullpen. And what's going on, Chris? Miss you, brother. Yeah, it's not a great look right now. So
I think the bullpen's great. Not great, but I think I'm very happy with the bullpen right now.
I'm happy to a degree. I just think that they're getting worked a lot, and
they are
because the starters aren't going into the 6th inning hardly ever, and that is a problem.
And that's what comes back to haunt you in July.
And Joe made a comment about trading for Alcantara at the deadline. At this point, they're going to have no choice if the injuries keep on popping up this way. What's up, Pop? There's quite a lot of questions I know that's getting ready to come. Yeah, Joe, I get it. I'm not talking. I didn't say they suck. I didn't say they suck. I just said I'm not happy with their usage. I kind of didn't word it properly. I'm not happy with how much they're being used. Because they're having to give you essentially 4 innings a night.
I'm sorry. This comment that just rolled in just made me cackle because yes, his dad.
Yeah, he does.
But back to the bullpen. Sorry.
I like what Joe just said. That was good. I just want the starters to go at least another inning. Give us
Finish 6.
Finish 6, and you're now creating a situation where almost every single relief appearance is high leverage. And Al can only hold up so long. Wells can only hold up so long. I mean, Wells is our best high leverage guy in the pen right now. At least in my opinion, he is.
He had a rough outing, but
but he's been relatively rock steady.
My biggest high leverage guy is Rico, and
Rico's been a pleasant surprise. I love
surprise. Look at this.
Yes.
Yeah, 0.75 ERA. He went 11 games without allowing a hit. Like he's pitched 12 innings. That's a problem.
Yep. But here we are back to these graphs with all the lines and colorful shit.
Just remember, Matt, more red.
Red means good. I know. me smart. I get it. Yeah. Rico's had a great start to the year. I like our bullpen. I just don't want them to be burnt out by the All-Star break.
Yeah. Rico, incredible. Dude deserves it. He grinded his ass off in this league for years to get his shot. And we're seeing it. It's actually sickening what he's doing. I thought he was going to go for the record because, once he crossed over 10 games and hadn't allowed a hit yet. And I mean, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. 12 innings pitched with only 13 strikeouts, but didn't allow a hit for 12 of those games. Then, behind that, high leverage, who we saw close the game out. And I heard the rumblings that he was being talked about as a closer if anything were to happen to Helsley, is Anthony Nunez. I mean, another guy who we, scooped up in a trade, was nobody knew his name. I mean, the guy has, Matt, he's got 200 followers on Twitter. No one knows who that guy is. And he has been gas.
That's a sensitive subject right now, my guy.
Nunez has been absolutely gas. So between Rico and Nunez, I'm, it's been really fun to watch. I mean, when you talk to fans that, aren't as involved or aren't in depth and they know who Rico Garcia and Anthony Nunez is, like, that's a big deal. That means that these guys are coming into spots where it's like, wait a minute, these guys are really good. So they're turning some heads. It's been exciting to watch. Yes, exactly what Joe said. There was an announcer jinx on the Rico Garcia record that he was going for. So that one hurt. But yeah, I mean, I'll take it from the bullpen. We are using them way too much. Tried to run a commercial there.
But I was gonna say what happened, but yeah, we're using. I didn't want people to think that I said that our bullpen sucks. I don't like the usage. It's too much right now. We're 3 weeks into the season, almost a month into the season, and I feel like they're pitching half the game almost every single night. And I don't like to feel like that because we've seen Bassett pitch in the AL East. We've seen Baz pitch in the AL East against us. And they were innings eaters at their previous spots. And right now, through 5 starts, none of them have had a quality start. Baz is going to get it together. Bassett's going to get it together. I don't care if Bassett has 15 losses this year, as long as we make the playoffs and the dude turns it on like he did for Toronto last year.
Yep. I mean, the guy was starting in the playoffs.
Right. I think that they're going to get it together. I really want Kitchard's back. I really want Helsley back. I know he's on a family leave, but these pitchers, if they can just give us 6. Years ago we talked about it, Tim, like on previous shows where we're talking about the yesteryears of the Buck Showalter era. Get us to the 6th, and you got Miller and all those guys on the back end ready to shut things down. We don't have that. We don't have that right now, but get to the 6th inning so we don't have to keep on wearing these guys out night after night after night. What Nunez did was incredible. No hits in his 11 appearances.
That was Rico Garcia.
I'm sorry, Rico.
Yep.
Freudian slip, Rico. But that's not a sustainable thing for the entire year. It's not. It's unrealistic to think that. So I'm just hoping that they get it together.
Baseball's crazy, isn't it, Matt? Everyone was talking, and we were talking. Crazy. We were like, "Yeah, well, this is the first time in a while we're comfortable with our starters. We got 6 of them rolling into this year, and I like these guys. We got a big 1, 2, 3. But man, this bullpen scares me. This bullpen really worries me. And now look at us. We're not even at the end of April yet, and we're like, this bullpen's great. What's up with our starters? It's baseball. That's why it's the best, man. It's a crazy game.
Yeah, I kind of want to transition over to the lineup a little bit. We can go back to the pitching. We can stay on the pitching if you'd like, but I feel like there's a lot we got to talk about with this lineup and some of the hitters and some of the guys that are currently not present on this team.
Well, we can start with this if you want, and I'll let you just stare at it, let chat stare at it, and give me your thoughts.
Jeremiah's playing out of his mind right now. There's really nothing that you can you can't explain it. You can't explain baseball. You can't explain any of this. Doesn't make any sense right now.
Just take a look at that.
A guy that was before the injuries to Westy and Holiday, Jeremiah Jackson was fringe to make the roster, period. and he's playing lights out consistently, offensively and defensively. And we're getting like a magical run that may never happen again, or this is the start of a breakout campaign. I'm not saying that they're completely similar, but Jeremiah Jackson gives me Melvin Mora vibes.
I could see it. I hope not, but I could see it.
I'm just saying, like, going from a super utility guy to being a mainstay.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I think Jeremiah Jackson's going to be a mainstay, and I don't want them to ever give him a real number. Can we stick with the number in the 80s? I love that so much. But everyone knows Jackson's hitting the hell out of the ball. He's who you want coming to the plate, high leverage, runners on base for the win, whatever the situation may be. It's been really fun to watch. I mean, there isn't anything bad you can say about him right now. He's had some great defensive plays too. The main reason I pulled this graphic up is because what concerns me about what's on the other side of this graphic. There seems to be a lot of mental frustration. It's his swings look like he's pushing really hard. I mean, I feel like mentally I would be pushing hard too if I was Gunnar Henderson and you know I was batting 189. It's been a while since his last home run.
I think he's
playing every day.
I believe he's pressing more than anything.
Oh, he's pressing hard.
Yeah, he's pressing. And like Rick said in the comments that I just posted on the screen, he's in a slump. I mean,
slump. I mean, this happened.
Yeah.
Matt, what would have happened to us if that would have happened to us in high school or Little League?
I never took a lead. I barely wanted to run, so I wasn't doing a whole lot of that, bro. But in high school, Norton would have had them running forever.
I don't know. It's tough. I get it. Your star player, the face of your franchise, blah blah blah. I get all of that.
I want people to like also
probably should have sat him.
Probably, but I want people to also think about this with Gunnar. Gunner's already played the equivalent of an extra 2 weeks of regular season baseball, quote unquote. I know he didn't start all the time at the WBC, but he was playing in meaningful games while everybody else was still fine tuning in spring training. He goes from that to opening day. He's got 7 home runs. He's among the league leaders in home runs. The batting average does not look good right now. The on-base percentage is not good. The slugging percentage is not good. The OPS is down. So is the RBIs and all that. I get it. The WAR, all that stuff. Pop, you got to understand something. It's Gunnar Henderson. He's not coming out of the lineup. I don't care what anybody says in these comments, and it's not to be rude, but Gunnar Henderson's not sitting unless he's hurt at this point.
He's not. He's also going to come out of it. I fully believe. I mean, he's a generational baseball player. He's going to get paid millions of dollars. Probably not for the Orioles, but he's going to get paid millions of dollars, and he is a phenomenal baseball player, someone that only comes around every once in a while. He's going to come out of it. You know, he started the season hot because, like you said, he had, those 2 weeks in the World Baseball Classic. I don't know. It sucks that we have to let, our leadoff, our second hitter, Cook, our star player, is just not doing it right now. Yeah, that sucks to watch, but it's Gunnar Henderson we're talking about. I am not concerned. It will come around. And when it comes around, people are not even going to remember about this month of, bad baseball from him. I think it stands out like a sore thumb right now, especially because of the fact that we're sort of underperforming expectations and the hype that was around the season. And I think that it's also definitely on the forefront of everyone's mind now because the guy got picked off twice in, the first inning and the ninth inning when you need to be scoring runs. So there's definitely something to be said about that, but it'll come around.
Yeah. Moving on from Gunnar and Jeremiah, I I I don't want to add any doom and gloom to this telecast, however you want to put it. Um, the lack of comment from the Orioles camp on Jordan Westberg is absolutely alarming. And I don't want to say I told everybody so in the preseason prediction shows, but from just the lack of acknowledgement, Westberg's not going to play this year. So we need Jeremiah Jackson to be that guy for the rest of the year. And I'm not expecting him to bat 300.
If he's not going to play third either, I don't think.
He's going to have to play at second until Jackson gets here. That's a problem, though. Are you going to move Jeremiah Jackson to third base, or are you going to keep Blaze and put Jeremiah Jackson on the bench? Because there's a whole thing that we haven't even touched on yet, and that's the outfield.
Yeah, and
we're getting no production from the outfield whatsoever.
I was about to cherry on top your concern about Jordan Westberg with the fact that Jackson Holliday went for another MRI yesterday after coming out of the game in Norfolk for severe hand pain on the same hand that he had surgery on, and that MRI, they told us multiple times over the previous 2 days, hey, MRI's coming. Well, that was yesterday. Have we heard anything yet? No. And I realize today's an off day. Do you think we'll hear anything about it tomorrow? They're going to get asked, so we'll probably get some beat around the bush answer like we do. But yes, Texas Orioles, this is sort of what I was alluding to is there are 2 other people in MLB right now that had the same exact injury as Jackson and had the same surgery on the same day that Jackson had his surgery. They were both back and playing on opening day.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on with this organization and injuries to their players. I understand that the regime changed and the strength and conditioning changed and all that.
Yes, Rick, totally agree with you.
Yeah, I agree, Rick. It's a frustration. Absolutely frustration showing through 100%. But they're treating this Jordan Westberg situation an a lot like they treated the Grayson Rodriguez situation last year.
Oh God, don't bring that up.
I'm not trying to bring it up for any, treacherous memories, but you can't help but look at the Orioles organization right now and think that they partially, if not 100%, ruined Grayson Rodriguez. Because if I'm not mistaken, he's not playing with the Angels yet, and
sure isn't.
And there's no return date in sight for him. He had a dead arm coming out of spring training. We're not going to see Jordan this year. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know why they're delaying the inevitable, because what they are doing with Zach Eflin is what they should have done with Jordan Westberg. Just call it how you see it. Get the man the surgery and let him recover and have him ready for spring training of 2027. We're now a month into the season. If they do what they did in previous years with other players, you're not going to see Westberg until May or June of next year with surgery, recovery time, and rehab assignments.
And at this rate, we might not see Jackson until July.
I said last show we talked about, I said Memorial Day. And it's looking more and more like 4th of July. How does this even happen? What are we talking about here?
It's Baltimore sports, baby. The Ravens do it too. Everybody does it.
I know, and this isn't negativity. It's like a suspension of disbelief. That's what it is to me. It's a suspension of disbelief. There's no excuse for it.
Yeah.
I personally believe the farther we go with this whole saga, I truly believe that Jackson Holiday doesn't want to play for the Orioles. I think he's biding his time, and
Gee, what told you that, Matt?
like I know it's a duh kind of thing, but it's like this is the first time I've said it out loud,
Yeah.
and at least out loud on this show. These guys they got to get on the field. I feel like we're wasting cheap years on Westy and Holiday, and they're banged up. That goes for Adley too. They've been banged up for years. I don't know what is going on with this training staff. I really hope they rectify it, but it's like you said, two guys that had the similar surgery were back playing 2 3 weeks later. What is taking so long? Why are there setbacks?
I don't know. It's tough.
And
Injuries suck, and they seem to suck more in Baltimore. I don't know what it is. Something in the water. Maybe it's the harbor water, you think?
I don't know, but I don't even want to get started on the harbor. Um,
um, I wanted to bring up an interesting point since we're talking about, these youngins not staying healthy. There's also been a lot of questions online. Beat reporters have written about it. I see a lot of people banter, talk about it back and forth. But these young guys that we bring up, we hear they're incredible, they're amazing. They eat their way through the minors. They're up here in a year and a half, and then all of a sudden the bat goes cold. And I learned something interesting. So Jeremiah Jackson has his own hitting coach, and it's the same hitting coach as Aaron Judge. Leody Taveras, the other, there's three people that are hitting the heck out of the ball right now for the Orioles. One, Jeremiah Jackson, hitting coach is Aaron Judge's hitting coach. Then you have Leody Taveras. He also has a different hitting coach. Can't remember exactly who it is, but hasn't been, surrounded by the Michael Elias way, I guess you could say, the organizational idea or belief on hitting and hitting strategy. And he seems to be hitting the ball well. And then the third is, I think that someone about this third one that I'm going to bring up is something to keep in mind is that he is honestly, for me, one of the most pure hitters I have seen to wear an Orioles uniform in a while. Watching film on him swing the bat is something of beauty. Yes, Rick, we are on YouTube. The name is Taylor Ward, and currently leads the league with extra base hits or doubles. He is absolutely smoking the ball right now. But if you just watch him in the box, he has worked so many full counts. It's, it's a thing of beauty. But the reason I brought him up and how he's at the top of the list right now is because he's new to the organization and he was already a seasoned hitter coming in. So the analytics or whatever, the organizational belief or strategy hasn't really, I guess, gotten to him or soaking into him yet. I mean, we're not even to the end of April. So time-wise, I'm not saying that because I don't know that for sure, but just based on time, someone that's been a solid hitter their entire career, 2 months with an organization or a belief change isn't going to, have the same effect as someone that has been grinding through it the past couple of years. So I think there might be something to be said about the fact that the three best hitters on our team right now haven't, really been around to absorb the Orioles' belief or hitting strategy or way, whatever you want to call it. So, and that this is totally just my opinion, something that I've picked up on and noticed from reading, but it's definitely something to raise an eyebrow to. It's, I know there's, correlation behind it. And, there's people that believe that just because things line up that way doesn't mean that they're necessarily true, but baseball is a game of numbers and patterns. And, it's, there's things that stand out for a reason. So, let's see if I can throw this up there for Rick. I don't know, just something to definitely think about. It might be linked in my Twitter bio also, Rick. I'm pretty sure I have it linked there too. At the end of the day, Mike Elias, oh boy, we'll just put that one up there.
What's
Matt, I'll
up,
let
Brandon?
you take that.
Okay. First and foremost, Brandon, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in last night with Wilcox. We did a late run on the NFL draft prospects. I agree to a certain extent about the context of the Astros. It's not that I don't think that players want to play for us. It's just that the Orioles have had such a long history of being the almost team or the we gave them a good offer. We have a new culture with a new staff and a new manager. But I think a lot of players that are free agents are looking at the aspect of these top-notch prospects that we essentially tanked for years are not pulling their weight. And you have a couple 1.1 overall draft guys, first overall draft picks. You got Adley, you got Jackson, you got a lot of high draft picks. You got Westberg, you got Gunner. There's a lot of guys on this team that are not playing up to the lofty expectations of their bingo. Of these guys, like I said it a lot last year, banging on the table and ranting. This is the first time that this group of guys have collectively not been the best of the best at the level that they're playing at. And they got their teeth kicked in an awful lot last year. And some of these guys just aren't responding the way that we want them to. Alonso's only going to do so much of the rah-rah stuff before it gets tiresome. There has to be a couple more adults in the room and leaders. It can't just be Alonso. It can't just be Ward. It just can't be Bassett or Helsley. You gotta eventually want this. Playing in the AL East is not easy. Thanks, Rick. Playing in the AL East is not easy at all. And you're now going into a key part of the schedule where you're playing a lot of AL East games.
Mark, we'll circle back to that.
Yeah, we'll circle back. That'll have to be discussed off air. I just want these guys to show the effort that a 31-year-old Pete Alonso is showing. I know he's had a rather slow start at the plate, but he's starting to hit the ball. He's starting to drive in runs. If Alonso is going to see this, how this all unfolds, other guys aren't going to want to come here. This has to be a destination. And from the outset, Alonso, that signing, I thought we were going to be a destination. And we were almost there with Ranger. We were almost there with Framber. We were almost there with Schwarber. I'm tired of the almost. But when these guys aren't playing with any energy and any passion, with the exception of a few, and it's noticeable on the field, and that's why we're 12-13 right now.
Yep. It's rough. There's a lot of hype behind it because you see these 101s go and you just want them to come up there and perform. And I think part of the problem, I'm gonna be a homer here and say we get there. I have faith in it. There's a lot of talent. There just seems to be a lack of an excitement right now. Can't really put my thumb on it on what it is. The thing I wanted to bring up though is that, do you think, Matt, that with us having that unexpected 100-win season, right? Or first it was the 80-some wins, make the playoffs out of nowhere. Then we come right back, run it right back, 100 wins, 101 wins. Ahead of schedule. Way ahead of schedule. Do you think that that has caused some of the disgruntledness from our fans? That because we were ahead of schedule, no one was expecting it. Blink our eyes, the Orioles are good, right? We're winning games. Then we see the dust kind of settle in, and we're getting what we see now. Not going to count last year, firing of a manager, awful season, but we're seeing the sort of fruits of everything sort of kind of find their way right now. Do you think that, having those two unexpected back-to-back seasons ahead of schedule early, building all that hype has, caused some of this disgruntledness?
Yes, but not. I'm going to articulate it a little bit differently than what you're alluding to. I think there was a glitch in the matrix where the Orioles went from being really bad to really good very quick. Where we were after year one, we should have probably been there at year three. Where we were in year three of the rebuild or post rebuild, we should probably be there right now. I think a lot of these guys rested on their laurels of being a 90 win and 100 win baseball team and haven't had that same drive to get back there. Circling back to the skipper, I truly believe that Mike Elias not getting rid of Brandon Hyde at the right time and letting the festering resentment towards him in that locker room get to where it did. Because let's just call a spade a spade. There was too much smoke for there to not be fire in that clubhouse with the leaks of players coming in when they wanted, not doing X, Y, and Z, players not wanting to play for Hyde. There's some truth to it. We'll never know the complete truth to it. But they didn't get a proper manager for the years budding after the years of the tanking. We tanked for a very long time to get the Adleys and the Gunners and the Westbergs and the Holidays. Because let's just call it what it is. That was tanking. We were playing guys that would have never made a major league team on 20 to 25 other teams for 2 and 3 years, especially during COVID. So that's where I stand on that. I hold Elias responsible for not going and getting a grown-up manager that can handle this. When after that 90-win season, I understand giving Hyde a little bit of leeway and a chance to, but Terry Francona was there twice for the taking. I think that it's a completely different ball game if you have a Francona or a Ron Washington or a Dusty Baker leading this kind of ball team. That's just the old school in me. And to get back to what they were saying right here, they see what's going on here. Let's just be real. Pete's here for one reason. We're paying him $155 million.
Yep.
And he's playing in a hitter's ballpark.
I want to ask you something too. You're talking about it being destination and all that stuff. There was an interesting article that came across yesterday, I believe. I don't know if you read it. Now, don't get me wrong. The sample size is small because they didn't ask many players, but they did a survey to rank cities, away team cities in 3 categories, which was ambience, facilities, and the city itself on when they have away games. And Baltimore ranked last, and it was cited that the visiting locker room, the weights for the visiting team, the gym, I guess you could say, is in the hallway next to garbage chutes. And then it was also cited in the article that players said that on their time here that there is not a lot for them to do in the city.
That's accurate, and I'll explain it in the best way possible, because I've had the opportunity to talk to a lot of professional sports players that have played in Baltimore professionally for either the Orioles or the Ravens. Baltimore is in a situation where there's the area surrounding the stadium is not really lively anymore. A lot of the restaurants have left. A lot of the places to go during the night are no longer around. The harbor is a shell of itself. There's nothing really easily accessible because, let's face it, driving through downtown Baltimore is the absolute pits. But it's not accommodating. Aesthetically, the stadium is beautiful. It set the standard for the modern stadiums. I get it. I totally get that. I love going to Oriole Park. Camden is probably the most beautiful baseball stadium on the planet.
It is.
But that can't be the only thing that sells you for playing in Baltimore. We know that home runs fly out of Camden around mid-May to early June when it starts getting humid outside.
Guess who ranked high on the list? Top 3, actually.
I can only imagine.
DC.
But, I mean, DC, there's so much to do.
Bingo.
And they have the metro that runs right through their stadium. So you can hop on the train after the stadium and go right to any place you want in the metro connection.
Well, remember they were interviewing MLB players about this. So DC also has a lot of fancy restaurants, a lot of places that you can go, things you can see. You have all of the national stuff that you can visit in DC. World-class museums, nightlife, all of that stuff. So it's hard. It's a tough market to be in Baltimore when there's not a lot. I mean, you can go to the Babe Ruth Museum, the aquarium, I'm sure the players don't want to go out in Fed Hill or Fells Point. You know how it is in the Baltimore bars. They wouldn't last a second down there without having a crowd of people around them. There's a lot of upscale places in DC where they can go in with their spouse and have a private dinner or a private night out with a group of buddies and not be
Bingo.
bothered.
We're both married men, and we both have type A wives that do their research before we go anywhere. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
So you don't think that these players' wives are sitting there looking at the family-friendly aspect, living proximity, crime rate, pricing for housing, even though not all of them are millionaires?
You know what trumps all of this, though? Being a winning baseball team.
No, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. Because
you don't think if we put on 3 or 4 back-to-back years of 95, 100 win seasons that, and P. Alonso's mashing the ball, that all these other stars aren't going to say, I'm coming to Baltimore, I want to win?
No, because I'm going to tell you this. In the years after the rebuild, 83, 90, 101, was that the totals?
Yeah. Oh, yes. You're asking. Okay, gotcha.
Who signed here? You had a 100-win baseball team.
Yeah, I agree.
Who signed here?
Were offers made, though? That's something.
It doesn't matter. You're saying that should trump everything, right?
Well, as far as like city ambience, things to do, cost of living, that sort of thing.
You said winning baseball games matters more than all that to players. If playing for a winning baseball team mattered, we would have made a marquee free agent signing after that 100-win season.
I mean, I think that's why Schwarber stayed in Philly.
No, Schwarber stayed in Philly because he never intended on leaving Philly. Schwarber's a rock star up there. He was
trying to boost his salary.
We were leverage.
Yep.
We were leverage. Do you think Schwarber was really going to come down here?
Probably not.
What was he going to play?
DH.
DH. So, what were you going to do with Samuel Basayo?
Mm-hmm.
Keep him in the minors for another year? What were you going to do with Kobe Mayo? Keep him in the minors for another year? And if Alonso would have signed with Schwarber, that would have been awesome. You got the Boom brothers. Cool. I would have been ecstatic for that. But they both do the same thing. They play one position, and the other place that Alonso can play is DH.
Yeah.
They're one track players, and there's nothing wrong with that.
What
But
about this?
I like Taylor Ward. I think Taylor Ward, that trade, Elias looks like a genius with that trade to me.
He's smoking the ball.
He is smoking the ball. I think Ward, if he could just get the defense together, Ward's an all-star player for us every single year. I like Taylor Ward. I think Taylor Ward's going to be fantastic for this ball club. But there's that but. He's the only outfielder that's productive right now.
Damn shame, ain't it?
We are starting Leody Taveras in center field.
OPS of 839. God, that's pretty.
Listen to what I just said. We have subjugated Colton Cowser to right field in a platoon with Tyler O'Neill.
Don't you name shame my boy Leody.
Come on.
Bro, he's got he's top 3 best player on the team right now.
I understand that, but is that sustainable? We're 25 games in. Is this going to be sustainable going into the dog days of summer?
I don't think at the All-Star break that our 3 best players are going. I mean, maybe Taylor Ward, but I would hope that they remain as hot. But is it realistic to think that Jeremiah Jackson and Leody Taveras are going to be our best players at the All-Star break?
No.
With Pete Alonso and Gunnar Henderson on the team.
No.
Adley Rutschman, Sam Basayo.
It's not sustainable. This is a microcosm right now. This is not sustainability. I preached at the beginning of the show. It's 25 games in. I understand that. You understand that. Most of us should understand that. But Leody Taveras is not an everyday player.
I wanted to bring something
cool
up
right now, but what is this saying about Colton Cowser?
Oh, I mean, I think we all know what it's saying about Colton.
He needs a trip to the minors.
And what sucks is the last 2 games he looks like he's kind of turning a leaf, but
it's 2 games.
Too far gone.
2 games out of the last 25 where he's played in majority of them.
Yep.
When are we going to call it how we see it, Tim?
I'm of the belief. So, you're not getting offensive production out of Colton, right? Enrique Bradfield Jr. is defensively better than any outfielder on our starting roster right now. I know that the question with Enrique is his bat, right? EBJ's bat. I'm of the belief that if you were to call him up and send Colton down, you're not losing anything offensively because, there hasn't been any production there. So even if EBJ isn't ready for the major league bats, you're not losing anything. Have him bunt. Have him get on base. He's been terrorizing the base paths in the minors. But all you do from it is gain. You go up in the defensive category. You have somebody out there that is a true outfielder. So I'm of that belief. I also would like to see Colton figure it out because I really like him as a player. It's just push comes to shove, and you have to set your emotions to the side and look at the production. But I think something that also is not getting talked about, and you were alluding to it with the outfield, and you had mentioned his name earlier. We'll pull it up on here. It looked good to start the year, but I think, no one's talking about it, and it's kind of concerning. This is questionable. This is rough.
He was not meant to play at the rate that he's playing.
So it's supposed to be a replacement, a utility guy.
He's a utility guy. Let's equate it to the NFL for one moment. What is the classic saying? If you have 2 quarterbacks, you have none. If you play 5 positions, you're not good enough to start at any of them, my friend. Blaze is starting because he has to, not because he deserves to. Who else is on our bench?
That Baltimore injury bug, man.
And I want to kind of circle back. I know that we're talking about Blaze, but let's circle back to the comment. that I posted on the screen. I agree with you. It should trump everything, but it hasn't. The team sale is one thing, but let's make something perfectly clear about the team sale. We were all sold a dream during this process. Rubenstein is a billionaire with a B, a billionaire.
Like your hat, that be?
That B. In order to sign players to contracts, you have to have enough money to cover the contract on a year-to-year basis. You can't tell me that there was a cash flow issue. Our attendance was up during majority of those years. We were winning baseball games at an alarming rate. It's time to stop making excuses for that portion of this. And I'm not being negative about it. It's just fact. Winning should trump all. You're absolutely right, brother. I get it and I believe it. But there's so many things working against the Baltimore Orioles.
Are those things Mike and Elias?
Mike Elias wants to be the smartest guy in every room he's in. And it's a detriment to this team almost as much as it's a benefit to this team. It might outweigh it. But
Think he's got something to prove?
at this point, what do you have to prove?
That
We have regressed immensely. And you have some of the most talented quote unquote baseball players on the planet that have come through your farm system in Baltimore. You have a couple first overall picks. You have a lot of compensatory round A picks. You have a lot of guys in the first 3 rounds that are all over this ball club. And you're complementing that with a rotation of 37 to 50-year-old spot starters over the last couple years. You're complementing that by letting Corbin Burns walk. I understand that we weren't going to match what Arizona could provide him.
You know how I feel about it.
It's been well documented. But
it starts at the top.
It does. Elias has a lot to do with it. It's about time that he stops evading the criticism. I was very hard on Brandon Hyde for this show for a year, if not more. Because this is our 3rd season doing this show together, if I'm not mistaken.
Does it ever make you think that it wasn't Brandon Hyde?
Hindsight being 2020, absolutely. Hyde was put in a no-win situation.
I can tell you by the lineups coming out every day and how they don't come out until an hour or two before game time like they have through the past 3 managers, Brandon Hyde, Tony Manzolino, and just the structure of the lineups. I can tell you firsthand by watching this game so in depth like I have for all of these years and being a dweeb about it, reading about it every day, pulling the numbers, looking at data. These lineups are not being constructed by the manager. And I'll take that to the grave. These lineups are being put out by Mike Elias every day.
And honestly, you're right. I used to think that the manager had some say, but I believe that we're living in an idiocracy type of baseball world where Moneyball is alive and well in front of our faces every single day.
It is.
That they're looking. I know you're an analytics guy, Tim, and I know you do analytics for a living. And this isn't offensive, but keep the nerd shit out of baseball to a degree. There should be ebbs and flows, and you should have a baseball IQ for this kind of stuff. I don't care about all that stuff. The more you have to think, the more you're going to have to adjust how you play. These guys didn't have to really think until they got to the majors, because that's when analytics became the driving force in this sport. You can't tell me that Gunnar Henderson had to look at nerd numbers in high school or down at Arkansas. I'm pretty sure people in Arkansas can't count above 50. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I want the viewers and you, Matt, specifically, the next game that you're at, because they don't show it on TV often. Sometimes you can catch a glimpse on the broadcast, but the next time somebody's standing in the batting circle or getting ready next up on deck, and the opposing team makes a pitcher change, I want you to watch what that batter does. If you're at the game, you can see it. Like I said, sometimes it's on the broadcast. That batter walks immediately over to the dugout, doesn't go in the dugout, walks over to the fence. And immediately, two hitting coaches step up to the fence, one with an iPad and one with a sheet. And on the iPad, I know technology is there, everyone's doing it, I get it. On the iPad, they are running all of the calculations in a 0 count. This is the probability of this pitch. This is how you do against that pitch in a 0-1 count, in a 1-1 count, in a 2-1 count, in a 1-2 count. They literally fill that batter's head with all of that information on that new pitcher that's coming into the game. And then that batter goes and stands in that box and is expected to look up at that scoreboard and see that they're in a 1-2 count or a 1-1 count and run through their head, their percentage, their analytics on what pitch they're going to get, which direction they should take it. And then on top of that, they're also running all of the stuff that we learned in Little League and in high school. Baseball scenarios, runner on what, where, how's the defense playing?
and they have an eighth of a second to decide whether they're going to swing the bat at the baseball. See, yep. I think all of that is so convoluted to me. Now, granted, I'm a football guy for the most part, playing wise in my life. I played more football than I did anything else. But as long as the pitcher, as long as the hitter knows what the pitcher's tendencies are to throw in an 0-0 count, an 0-1, so on and so forth, that's the only thing they should be doing analytically.
Wizard of Oz enjoyer, that one made me laugh. That was a good one.
I mean, there's so much blame to go around, and I feel like I agree. I totally agree. It should be used as a tool and not the program.
Matt, I want to put one more slide up before we transition you out of here so we can get you over to the NFL draft. We also got to get your prediction too. One more slide I wanted to throw up here, and the reason I'm doing this is because I want everyone to look at it, and I fully believe when we come back next Thursday or whatever the break is that lines up for us, Thursdays it seemed to be our night. I'm putting this out there so that when I pull it up next week or the week after, we are looking at a completely different chart. More red next time, okay, Matt? More red.
So red means bad. Red means good. Blue means bad. Okay.
So the next time I pull this up, and this is as today, folks, there ain't much going right now. But I fully believe that when we pull this up a week from now, there will be a lot of red on this chart, and that average will not be so far below the Mendoza line.
I hope not.
Because this ain't pretty.
When you explain this stuff to me, and I'm not being intentionally obtuse. I'm just not. I don't have the graphics. You know, for people that are just like tuning into our show as new viewers, you're the stats guy. You're the graphs guy. I'm the. I guess up until this year, I was the pessimist of the odd couple that we are. Yeah, man. I think Gunner's going to turn it around. I'm no matter how much I'm talking about the woes of this franchise, I'm still confident. I have no reason to not be confident because Texas is right.
This could mean so many things.
Look, I haven't had to go on a first date in 20 years.
Ever?
20 years. Yeah. My last first date was 20 years ago. 5 years of the parole.
You guys will give some of the viewers, especially if they're from the Baltimore area, St. Joe viewers, whatever. My first date with my wife, and this is how you know it was set up for success. First date, didn't want to go too crazy, didn't want to not go too crazy. I took her to good old Chef Polino's in Catonsville.
Very, very nice touch. I thought I was doing some grand gesture and taking my wife to Little Italy for one of our first dates. The restaurant that I chose for her for our first date. Her great-grandfather used to have a table with Johnny Unitas in the back of the restaurant. So I was sadly mistaken about my suave dating date night choice. But I digress.
All right, Matt, real quick, let's run through what we got coming up. Starting tomorrow night, Friday night. Again, all you guys tuning in, you ever see me at the yard, say what's up. I'm around. I'm there every game. Literally every game.
Tomorrow night's the hockey jersey night, right?
It's either Saturday or tomorrow, to tell you the truth. This
24th.
year with
I think it's the 24th.
We get every giveaway guaranteed. So it's, 3-game series against Boston, Matt. What are we going?
Before I do that, I still got my Gunnar Henderson Star Wars bobblehead sitting next to me on my table. Boston Red Sox 2 of 3.
2 of 3. I like it.
2 of 3.
I'm also with you on the 2 of 3. I also kind of might be leaning towards a sweep there. Nice hard reset after an off day. Sweep the first club you play in the AL East. Crochet's been struggling big time for them. Boston is looking kind of flat. I'm sure Drew will come rolling into these comments here shortly to give us both hell, but I'll be polite. I'll say 2 of 3 also. I really want to say a sweep. Take 3 of 3 from Boston, but we'll go with 2 of 3. All right. Then let's see. 1 day off Monday. And then a 3-game set against Houston. They're coming to town. It's a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, middle of the week series.
I'm going good juju on this. I'm saying sweep of Houston because I can't stand them bastards.
All right. I am saying 1 of 3.
Oh, okay. You're the pessimistic one. I'm telling Stephanie.
I am. Something about that middle of the week series. Houston's a good team. They always play us well.
Are we in Houston?
No, they're coming to Baltimore. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Sweep.
And then we hit the road with no days off. So it's a getaway game on that Thursday in Baltimore against Houston. And then it's a bus ride up to New York for a 4-game set. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. 2 day games. Saturday and Sunday are both 1:35 day games against the New York Yankees.
3 of 4.
Take 3 of 4. I'm also saying 3 of 4.
I like it.
So
like it a lot.
I'm saying 7 wins.
Adley's giving you hell back there.
Yeah, they hear somebody. She's I don't know if she's agreeing with me or disagreeing with me, but she's excited that her name giver is back in the lineup because we need him. While he's been playing well, and I'm concerned with the overuse of Basayo. So definitely excited that Adley's back in the lineup. All right, Matt, let's hear it. We got T-minus 12 minutes. Ravens, give me 2. Give me who do you want them to take? And it can be unrealistic because the player could probably not still be on the board. Who do you think they take?
Okay. Before I do that, it's a shameless plug to everybody watching our baseball show. For the Ravens draft coverage, hop over to We Bleed Purple podcast on YouTube with myself and retired.
Bingo, Rick. Keep plugging. Sorry.
You're good. Myself and retired Ravens tight end Daniel Wilcox have a weekly show, We Bleed Purple podcast on YouTube. Go over there, subscribe if you want to catch all your Ravens news. We just did a preview show last night for the draft, talked about who we wanted to have picked in the first round. So I'm going to reiterate that really fast here. Vega Ione should be the pick at 14. If he is there.
I agree.
If not, if Francis Mauigoa falls, the tackle from Miami, I would love to see him as a Raven. I do not want to see a cornerback, a wide receiver, or a safety drafted before Saturday.
Before an offensive line.
Before Saturday. I don't
Okay.
want to see any of them. I want to see fat boys on both sides of the ball drafted early and often.
What about tight end? Does that count?
I do not want Sadiq.
Okay.
There's too many tight ends in this draft to waste 14 on Sadiq. You got to get an offensive line to protect your.
Oh, I don't think a tight end would be at 14, but I was asking if you think a tight end before Saturday.
No.
Because they could technically be part of the O-line, I guess,
No. Not before Saturday. Not before Saturday. You got to go interior and edge. Interior line and edge. If Jeremiah Love falls out of the top 7, the top 8, I would love to see us go get Jeremiah Love, but I digress. That will do it for our bi-weekly update of the Orioles. We will try to get back to you guys after the Yankee series. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you for the comments and the questions and the banter. We appreciate the engagement, you guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, set your notifications for FowlBall Talk on YouTube. Let's get that subscriber count up. You can find me on X at mtrigwbp3547, mtrig89 on Instagram, and Tim is pointing to the correct corner for FowlBall Talk. He is a menace in Orioles Twitter. And that will do it for the show, folks. Thank you so much. And we will see you after the New York Yankees series.
Yes, sir. Thanks, everyone. We'll catch you next week.